Well, hello there and welcome back to this F1 2018 Williams Career Mode, and we're at round 3 of the Shanghai International Circuit in China. The practice sessions have all been and gone. Happy to report that we have some good pace here, similar to Bahrain I feel, and we managed to max out on the resource points as well. So all in all, a good few sessions. We've got 3 messages in. Good luck this session. We're all expecting a good result from Emma. The weather forecast from Jeff. Sunny into cloud for qualifying and then sunny into cloud for the race, but no sign of any rain just yet, and some information about the circuit, but I know the circuit pretty well, so we don't need to read about it. So yeah, 3 practice sessions have been and gone. Excuse me. We've got a new team goal. Another easy one, of course, 400 resource points, complete 4 practice programs. We already completed that. We've done all 5 in this practice session, so after the next race we'll have an extra 400. For the rivalry then, we've obviously chosen Marcus Ericsson as our second rival. It was the only one that we could choose. 0 for 0 at the moment, but obviously we'll be hoping to beat them in the next few races. And we're 12-5 against Sorokin, and already looking good to put that rivalry away. Next screen then, research and development. Happy to say that the 2 minor upgrades, 1 each for the chassis and aerodynamic departments, have come in. 2 minors equal a major. Other teams to do an upgrade as well. Mercedes and Red Bull have both had minor upgrades, as have Renault. The rest of the midfield, no upgrades as of yet. So we've closed that big gap that we had to Sauber and Toro Rosso early on, and we're now right behind them. So yeah, already quite good on the R&D front. We've got another minor upgrade for the crankshaft coming in at Azerbaijan next week. We're up to 813 resource points, and you can see here as well, I've been working away at the aerodynamic department answering some good questions, and went up to an upgrade price reduction of 20% and a failure chance reduction of 10%. So it's only going to cost us 417 resource points to get another upgrade done. We can only do 1, unfortunately, in each development. So I'm tempted, once we get a new contract negotiation after the 4th race, I might put on a simultaneous development, getting 2 or maybe even 3 upgrades per department. Other bits as well, obviously the durability, we've done a bit more work on there, so we're chipping away at this. No bonuses on that, no bonus on the chassis department, and we've got a smaller bonus on the powertrain as well, which enabled us to get the crankshaft in a little bit cheaper. So after this race we'll definitely be doing something on the aerodynamic department. Of course, what I did on 2017 was, if you remembered as well, I spent quite a lot of money on making things more reliable and cheaper whilst we was upgrading them, because it took quite a while to actually get the resource points, so I thought I'd spend quite a bit of money over here to speed up the development, getting everything cheaper and more reliable. Of course, I won't be doing it on this career mode because it is quite easy to get resource points. I mean, after the 3 practice sessions, you can easily get 600 resource points if you complete all the practices, do all the maximum laps, participate in every session, don't pick up any penalties, and keep it all nice and clean. When before it was about 600 in a full entire weekend. Now, if we have a good strong weekend in all 3 practices, qualifying the race, you're looking at around about 1,000 resource points. So the challenge is, we're not going to spend any money on any of the departments on making the upgrades cheaper or more reliable. We're just going to go for it. Parts will fail as the season goes on, and then obviously we can get back on the car within a week for 50% of the original cost. So for example, if we came down here and did this and it didn't come in, we could get it done next week for the week after that at about 208, 209 resource points, which is chump change really when we can do that in the practice session. So that will be a challenge. Obviously it should take a couple of years until we max out the car. And then finally, the final screen then, the vehicle management, 45% now on the IC. We did a lot of laps in practice to get as many resource points as possible. The MGUK at 27, 34% on the MGUH, the Energy Store at 26, the Turbocharger at 33, and the Electronics at 25. Of course, we've had an upgrade already on the MGUK and the ICE to make it a little bit more reliable. Same for the gearbox as well. We've had 2 of the 5 upgrades fitted, 38% coming into the 3rd weekend of 6 for this mandatory gearbox. We're going to have to change it out before the 6th race. I can guarantee that after this we'll be knocking on the door of about 50%, and we'll only be halfway through the life, halfway through the actual 6-week cycle. But after about 65-70% we start to get gearbox malfunctions, losing gears, stuck in gears, that sort of thing, which I really don't want. So we're going to have to change out the gearbox sooner rather than later. So we'll go to qualifying then. Dry conditions in both qualifying and the race. I've got an outside chance of making Q2, it would be quite nice, but of course primarily we need to beat our teammate and obviously Ericsson as well. So we go to Q1 then, we'll have a look at the setup, and then we'll get out there to do a couple of laps in the first session. So the session just started, sitting in the garage at the moment. no one out on circuit as of yet. The tyres this weekend, the Ultra Soft, the Soft and the Medium. This is the first race of this season where we skip out a tyre compound. Between the Ultras and the Softs, we would have the Redwall Super Softs, so that's why a difference of 1.4 seconds, a massive difference between the Ultras and the Supers, and then another 7 tenths between, the Ultras and the Softs, and then another 7 tenths, as you would expect, between the Softs and the Mediums. So we'll be running Ultra Softs throughout qualifying. There's no point running the Softs, so you won't make any gains and it will be too far slow. But it could be quite interesting if we do make it through to Q2, because there might be some of the big boys might decide to run on the soft tyres, take a gamble, then realise actually they've made a bit of a mistake and got eliminated. We saw, I think it was in Bahrain, that happened to Verstappen, who got eliminated in 12th place, and there's a high possibility that could happen to some of the big boys here as well. Unless they all run the Ultra Softs, then it doesn't matter. But we're going to stick with the Ultra Softs. Car setup then, very similar setup that I've already been running this season. 3.8 on the front and rear wings. Transmission 85 for the differential on the throttle and 75 for the diff off throttle, but we might drop that during the race to save a bit of tyre wear. Camber and toes I've left in the middle. Suspension, the same again I think for Bahrain. 5.5 for the suspension and the ARBs, 4.4 for the ride height to give me some extra speed along that back main straight, and 91%, but I'll drop it down to 90 for the brake pressure. It's at 91 to get another 5 resource points. If you do 2 different car setups in the same session, all you've got to do is add 1 to the brake pressure, it counts. So we'll do 90% on that. 55 for the bias. Tyres, 2 clicks to the right on the front, 1 click to the right on the rear. It is giving me quite high tyre wear, but it's giving us a lot of grip, which I need, and to be honest we've still got a lot of grip even when the tyres are getting to the end. So we will run with this setup, or we'll be looking at probably a 2-stop race in the race rather than the Bahrain 1-stop masterclass that we did. And then finally the weight distribution is at 6. So 16 minutes left of the session. We'll get out on circuit to do our first lap, and hopefully it might be good enough to get through to Q2. But as the session rubbers in and gets quicker as it goes on, I'll probably go out again towards the end to find a few extra temps. So I'm currently sitting in 8th place. People behind us will go quicker. I'm not going to go out again actually. We've got a 4/10th gap back to Ocon, or now Leclerc. 5/10th gap actually back to Leclerc in 15th place. 6/10. No, sorry, actually I do tell a lie. That's those times have glitched there for some unknown reason. Ocon should be ahead of Leclerc for whatever reason. But I don't think we need to go out again. I'm going to risk it, not go out again, and hopefully we can make it through into Q2. Bottas in a bit of trouble down in 14th place, but yeah, I think we'll be okay. So we have successfully made it through into Q2. Hamilton and Bottas, he went back out there in the ultra soft tyres, he needed to. They've both managed to get through. Raikkonen, Vettel, Ricciardo as well. We've ended the session in 12th place, 1.267 off the pace. Felt like a pretty decent lap. Probably lost a couple of attempts in Sector 2. But yeah, like I said, we've got a good chance of making Q2. And so far, well, we have made Q2. I don't think we'll make Q3. I think that'll be a bit out of our reach. But we're looking good then for at least a promising grid position. So behind us, Alonso, Leclerc and Ocon. Verstappen, again, he's been eliminated in Q1. He's out in Q1. Verstappen, he risked it on the soft tyres. I told you this was a risk, but with missing out the super soft tyres, you can leave yourself vulnerable to a lower grid position. And Verstappen has ballsed it up royally, eliminated in Q2 in Bahrain, and now he's out at the first knocking here in China. So he's joined on the heat then by the 2 Toro Rossos of Hartley and Gasly. Our rivals Ericsson and Sorokin line up on the back row. So yeah, bad news for Verstappen, but good news for us. We're through to Q2 for the second time this season. So in just over 5 minutes left of the session, it's close, we're in 12th place at the moment, but if we improve by 1/10 and a half, we're right up into the dizzying heights of P8, and if we improve by 2/10, we'll be P7, although we have got Raikkonen on the soft tyres in that mix. We're comfortably ahead of Leclerc, but Grosjean and Van Dorn are just a couple of tenths away at the moment, and it was a little bit of a scrappy lap, although we are quick in Sector 1 and in Sector 3 as well. Sector 2 actually making up good time. In fact, we're actually down a little bit in Sector 3. We're a couple of attempts shy of everyone there in Sector 3, which is a bit surprising considering we have the Mercedes engine and Sector 3 is basically a long straight with a hairpin. But yeah, we're good in Sector 2 and very good in Sector 1. Always have been quite strong. Turn 1 and 2 is very strong for me. So yeah, we'll go out there again in a few seconds. Another set of ultra soft tyres, our third and final set of ultra soft tyres. And we'll see if we can make it through to the top 10 shooter. If we do make it through, I won't run because we'll only have a set of soft tyres and I will only do, you know, the best for 10th place. But if we can make it through, that'll be a good morale boost for the team. The car handling the way it is and massively down on development, to make it through to Q3 at the third race would be a good result. So we'll go out there then and we'll go for one more lap. So just coming out of the garage now then, 2 minutes and 22 seconds left of Q2, coming out for lap number 2. in P12. So we'll take our way slowly around the circuit, try to save the tyres, because the tyre wear on the ultra soft tyres is shockingly high, like nearly 10% per lap. So I want to make sure that I look after his tyres best I can, but keep the temperature in the tyres and the brakes high enough, and make sure I get round, you know, before the timer reaches 0. So just warming up the tyres, and now the brakes. 40 seconds left of the session. Let's build up the power. Let's see if we can get this Williams inside the top 10.
30 seconds left in the session.
Lol, what? Fourth place? Mercedes, Ferrari, Mercedes, Williams, Ferrari. Oh my god. So taken 3 rounds to get inside Q3. It's a shame we're going to be starting in 10th. And on the ultra softs as well. They'll be dead after about 3 or 4 laps. Wow, that felt like a good lap. It looked like a good lap, didn't it? Made a little mistake, I think, in turn 4. Lost a couple of attempts. Would have made no difference. We were quicker than Vettel, soft tyres he was on, but yeah, we were quicker than Perez by 3 tenths. We were quicker than Sainz by nearly a second. Crazy stuff. But yeah, we're through to Q3. We won't run in Q3. We've only got a set of soft tyres. It's pointless. Ocon, Hulkenberg, Grosjean, Van Dorn, and Leclerc have been eliminated. I will go forward to Q3 and see what people are doing. Maybe everyone else has run out of ultra soft tyres as well. But yeah, I'm just amazed we managed to make it through to Q3 with the 4th quickest time. Oh my god, hacks have been deployed. But yeah, we'll go forward then to the top 10 shootout. So, and here we are in the garage. I've got a sneaky suspicion if you make it through to Q3, we get another set of tyres, don't we? Yeah, we do. We got another set of ultra soft tyres. Look, these are the ones we used in Q1 and Q2. We got the soft tyres. Yeah, we get another set tyres for Q3. Of course, it means we don't get any ultra softs for the race, but that's fine. We'll be starting on these tyres, I think, in the race, which are already up to 12% wear. Apparently, it'll be a lot more than that once the race starts. So we'll be starting on that set, and then probably doing maybe a stint soft mediums or soft softs. I won't be touching another set of ultra softs in the race. It's pointless. They last 7 laps. You might be a second quicker, but then you'll lose an extra 20 seconds in the pits. It's pointless running it. We do have a set of ultra soft tyres. Great. I'm going to wait till the end of the session. We're going to go have about 3 minutes left. Creep round to save the tyres and then go for one do or die lap at the end of a session. So then just over 3 minutes left of the session. This is the order at the moment. Everyone, of course, on the ultra soft tyres that they've been given in Q3. Some may have saved the set as well from the earlier sessions. I think a few drivers have managed to do that. Hamilton currently the quickest by 4 hundredths over Vettel, and Perez and Magnussen 2.2 seconds off the pace. Times have massively increased, as you can imagine, as the sessions have gone on. So we'll get out on circuit now then. We'll do a slow out lap and try to get as much heat into the brakes and tyres as we can as everyone else is leaving the garage. So one flying lap here in Q3. Where will we end up? Unbelievable. Best lap I've done around this circuit this weekend. There was a few little niggles here and there, but we've ended up in 6th place. We qualified in 6th place. Unbelievable. And yeah, we're behind the big 6 or the big 5. Because obviously Verstappen was eliminated in Q1. The big 6, basically the Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull drivers, their development is so far greater than everyone else. So yeah, we're best of the rest in 6th place. 3.5 tenths quicker than Sainz, and we're nearly a full second quicker than Alonso. Perez and Magnussen also in 9th and 10th place. Hamilton's taken pole by the slimmest of margins, 1,000th of a second. Look at that. Couldn't get close if you try. Well, you can tie, but you know, 1,000th is basically nothing around this circuit. But Hamilton has managed to take pole ahead of Vettel, but we'll be lining up alongside Raikkonen's Ferrari on row 3. Unbelievable stuff. So the halfway breakdown, we all completed qualifying, but obviously I out-qualified both Ericsson and Sirotkin. The resource point said this will be a nice healthy amount. We did laps in Q1, Q2 and Q3, and the result for the car performance should be the maximum of 100. 170 resource points takes us over the 1,000 mark already, and the reputation, as you can see there, has risen quite nicely with all the teams. The rookie respect level and the sportsmanship, showmanship side of it as well.
Well done. Very solid result. You're looking good for the race.
Yeah, I just wonder if we can hang on. 1 lap pace is good, but what about our race pace? Anyway, a message here. Hey Alex, how you feeling? As I said in the briefing, the car's looking good, and I think we have the pace for a decent result here. If you can get into a good flow after the turn 1 scramble, and it will be a scramble, and make sure to hit your marks when you come into the pits, we should be all set. As always, keep an eye on your temperatures and other data on the MFD. Multi-function display is what it stands for. That's the screens you see on the right hand side that I sometimes cycle through. And press the radio button to talk to me if you need updates on the weather, cars around you, other things like that. Good luck out there from Jeff. So very nice indeed. We'll have a quick look at the units just to make sure we're okay. 48% now on the ICE. The gearbox is the worry, up to 42% on that. So yeah, I think it's going to be close to, if not at 50% once we do this race. But we don't need to worry about that. We'll go away, we'll look at the introduction for the Chinese Grand Prix, the grid formation, see if anyone's got any early grid penalties, and then of course we'll have a look at our race strategy.
Hard work, ingenuity and ambition. All things you'll find in abundance amongst the 15 million people of Shanghai over there to our southeast. And we've got plenty of that here on the grid as well. 20,000 horsepower, give or take, chomping at the bit to be unleashed for the Chinese Grand Prix. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before the braking zone of turn 14. Joining me once again to take you through this race is the effervescent Anthony Davidson, and I'm very much looking forward to it getting underway. You raced here, of course, didn't you, back in your Super Aguri days in that infamous Chinese Grand Prix of 2007?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't last that long, though, unfortunately. Qualifying had gone pretty well, but my brakes failed quite early in the race, around lap 10 or 11, something like that. And of course, back in 2004, I was the very first Formula 1 driver to complete a lap of this circuit. Just thought I'd mention that for you, Crofty. You like a good stat. It's a fairly tough circuit on the brakes here, though. You know, it's that long back straight down into turn 14, and then you've got turns 6 and 11. They're quite heavy as well. On top of that, managing your front tyre wear is always a challenge around here, so there's a lot to keep in mind during the Grand Prix.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and starting alongside him P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Bottas, Kimi Raikkonen and a Williams, Sainz, Alonso, Perez and Kevin Magnussen, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Romain Grosjean and Van Dorn, Verstappen, Hartley, Pierre Gasly and Marcus Ericsson, Sirotkin and Charles Leclerc rounds off the grid.
So then there is the grid formation and the introduction. Never realised that Anthony Davidson was the very first driver to complete a lap here at the Grand Prix. I assume it was some sort of demo run once the circuit had been completed. But whatever, it doesn't matter about that. What matters now is the race. Charles Leclerc is the first driver to have a bit of a boo-boo and pick up a grid penalty. Drops him from 15th back to the grid, to the back of the grid, I should say. We remain in 6th, so we'll have a look at the race strategy. Yep, as I expected, ultras onto softs onto softs. Tyre wear is going to be quite crucial here. So what I'm going to do is bump it down to just 1 lap worth of extra, which means that we can run a little bit of rich mix when we're recharging the battery, and then we can obviously run into higher EOS mode and then save the fuel as well. Free stop strategy here is 16 seconds slower. Ultras, softs. That really wouldn't work for me. What we'll do, we'll edit this. We'll take this out. No, hold on. Remove that stint. Stint 2 soft, stint 3 medium, and then stint 2 pit around about. Let me think. How many laps is it? 4, 8, 12, 14, 10 laps. So if we do that, 5-second difference. If we need to. If the soft tyres start to wear out at a quicker rate than it's projected, then we can make an early change onto the mediums and it adds 5 seconds to our race time, which isn't that bad actually. We'll stick with the high tyre management, but of course I can chop and change as the race goes on. So we do have scope there to change the strategy onto the mediums if the tyre wear is higher than it is, and we will only we'll only lose a few seconds. So that's good, that's fine. I wanted to do that. So we've got 2 strategies there. We'll run with this one, ultra soft softs, but we can do ultra soft mediums at some point, and it won't change too much to our race. But we'll start with 1 lap worth of extra fuel. So we're back out of this. We'll get the formation lap out of the way, and then get the race on the go from a highest grid position so far of an amazing 6th place. Here we go then. Turn 1 is going to be crucial. And away we go now. Oh, we're all spinning up a little bit. We'll stick to the inside though. Oh, gimme. Oh. Man is outside though. Oh. Defend the inside. Still there. Now he's slotted in behind. So we made a position up. Oh, the understeer. Oh, car feels twitchy. I think Larkin's probably going to have us down the straight. Depends what kind of exit we get out of here though. Which isn't too bad. Where is he? Oh, he's back a little bit. He's being hindered by our dirty air. Might be picking up a little bit of a tow from Ricardo ahead of us. He's on the soft tyres. And Larkin's gaining a little bit, but not close enough. We'll brake a little earlier than we did in qualifying with the heavy fuel load on the car. Oh, back end again. We come round into the final corner to complete lap 1. Up into 5th place. We've just got to focus on our own race now, really.
You'll be on the softs.
So down the back straight. Raikkonen flashes past us, demotes us back down to 6th. Not too worried though. We're still massively overachieving here. Come across the line now. DRS will be enabled. Only 1 zone. Oh, sorry, 2 zones actually. We've got 1 down the main straight and 1 across the back straight. Main straight doesn't really offer too much of an overtaking opportunity. Most of it will be done down the back straight, to be honest. So into lap 4, we're pitting at the end of this lap. The tyre wear is already up to 46%, 47 on the front left. 48 now. It's that bad here. A handful of drivers already in the pits, including one of the Mercedes, so up to 5th. A few cars that were quite close behind, a McLaren, a Force India and a Haas, they're already in the pits. So I've got to push on this in-lap to not be a victim of the undercut from those guys behind. In we come.
The data suggests the tyres are getting quite warm. They may not last much longer.
Right, let's see where we join. So 16th place, Sainz stays behind, he pitted as well, but we're coming in the pits now. These are the 3 guys about to flash past. Oh, we've lost that to Alonso. So he's managed to undercut on us, but we've kept Perez and the Haas behind, so we lost 1 position already, which is a shame. That's the power of the undercut. Unless we can't have a long right hander onto the back straight. Oh, a little bit wide on the curb. For those of you who don't understand what the term undercut means, basically if you take 2 drivers that are running in close formation on the same tyres, and the guy behind pits, and let's say lap 5, he comes out in a fresh set of tyres, the guy ahead of him pits in lap 6, but of course he did 1 lap on a used set of tyres. The guy behind in the fresh tyres has 1 lap opportunity with the better grip and speed to undercut his opponent and basically cut in front of him. That's what an undercut is. You've got the opposite of an overcut as well, which is the guy in front staying out longer on the used tyres and they're still coming out ahead. That's known as an overcut. Basically you've stayed ahead, you've extended the gap, so to speak. So that's the difference between what an undercut and an overcut means. In all that, I believe Sainz, I've just been told by my engineer, has picked up an issue. I think he is behind us at the moment anyway, so that shouldn't pose too much of an issue. So lap 6 now. Let's just maintain what we're doing. Keep an eye on the tyre wear, of course. You might have to change onto the mediums, but we'll stick with this selected strategy at the moment. So just coming into lap 10, I'll maintain a decent gap to Alonso ahead and Perez behind, even though we are in ERS mode 1. I've been bumping up to like 2 or 3 down the main straights just to protect me from Perez behind. We're now catching up to the tail enders. Sirotkin battling with both the Saubers. These guys going long into the race, probably going for the one-stop strategy, so we're going to have to pass these guys on track. So it's going to get quite interesting the next couple of laps. We've got to get past some slower guys. Hopefully we can do it nice and cleanly and not pick up any damage. We've got a nice exit out of a long right-hander.
The engine is going to be down slightly and showing some minor wear.
We're all getting DRS, but I'm alongside Alonso. Oh, we've gone so deep. Sorry, Sirotkin. Oh, and I'm half spinning the car as well. That was the mess. Oh, so I've spun. I think I might have spun my teammate. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Oh, we're going to have a go at me back in the garage.
We're racing again.
So right up behind both the Saubers here. Leclerc in 14th, Ericsson in 13th. And I'm not surprised I've managed to get a better exit. DRS as well. They're all scrapping behind. How was Leclerc faster? Might get a run going into turn 1 here. This time he doesn't have DRS off his teammate. Oh, and again. But the AI just don't give you room, do they? We managed to shoulder barge our way past. Now we can give chase to Ericsson. It's been scrappy, this. So Ericsson dive in the pits, as is everyone else on the one-stop strategy. So we'll find ourselves well inside the top 10 again. I'm into 8th. But we still have to make a second pit stop. So we're coming around and start lap 14. Gasly's in the pits as well. So that'll bump us up to 7th place, but I don't think the strategy is going to work for us. When we pit at the end of lap 16, that's the target anyway, we're going to fall behind all that lot back in the midfield again, and we'll have to push like anything to get back in with a realistic chance of finishing in the top 10. Tyres are about 47-48%, so I should be able to get to the end of lap 16, go for another set of softs and then push to the end. But I think unfortunately the one-stop strategy is going to prove to be the best strategy around here. But we had to do a two-stop. We were locked into starting on the ultras from qualifying, so there's definitely no way we could have done the one-stop. It's going to be close on exit. I think we've just managed to stay ahead of Ericsson. We have. But Perez has jumped us. So we're at 14th place then, because Sainz has made another pit stop. I've got Perez and a Toro Rosso ahead of me. So I think the best we can probably aim for is 12th place. Unless there's pit stops or retirements ahead. Which is disappointing, having started from 6th. She's got purple in Sector 1, which is nice. Sector 1 has been my strongest part of the circuit all weekend. I think Perez has managed to get past Hartley, and we're closing in now on the Toro Rosso driver, so we should be able to make light work of him once we catch up, and that'll be 13th. We'll give chase to Perez, but if we can't pass him and nothing else happens ahead, it's going to be a lonely half dozen or so laps towards the finish. Back off, Harley. 13th place. Oh, Bottas is out. Oh yeah, yellow flag on Sector 1 there. So that's 12th. You never know. You might get a bit of luck. Oh, it's yellow flags all over the circuit. There's one on the main straight. I think that's a Ferrari. It is, it's Vettel. Vettel's out the race, so another one of the big 6 have retired. That'll put us in 11th. And all of a sudden, we are hunting down Perez for our first World Championship point. Wow, Bottas and Vettel both retiring on the same lap. Thank you very much. So into lap 22. Running rich mix at the moment. ERS mode 1 to recover some energy for the battery. We're losing a couple of attempts to Magnussen behind. I'm not too worried about that. The gap between ourselves and Perez is also stabilising. We are slowly catching the battle ahead for like 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th and 4th. We might be up. We might be up by him by the end of the race. But we've really got to push. Oh, yellow flags. Oh, there's a car going slowly. It's Hamilton. Hamilton has an issue. We're in the points. Okay, lap 24, onto the back straight. Perez ahead has now caught, I think it's Gasly and Alonso. They're all scrapping over 9th, 8th and 7th. Meanwhile, Hamilton continues to fall further back. He's obviously got an issue. He's back in like 13th place now or something like that. So Magnussen is slowly catching me, but we're catching everyone ahead of us. It's Van Dorn now who's back in 9th place. So we've got a good chance of a couple of points here. 2 laps to go, 2.4 to Van Dorn, but we are in fuel saving mode. I'm going to bump it up in about half a lap time and start to give chase to Van Dorn. Here we go in the final lap, 1.4 seconds to Van Dorn. We're in rich mix and ERS mode number 4. Still got Sainz closing down as well. So we're going to get very tasty. Come on, come on, come on. Fastest we've been through Sector 1. Just got to be as close as we can to Van Dorn coming out that long right-hander down the back straight. That's going to be the opportunity to overtake. I'm picking up his dirty air already. The car just doesn't want to turn. His tyres are battered. Oh, the understeer again. I don't think we're going to be close enough, and there's Sainz. I've never been this stressed for 10th. Oh god, the tyres. We're not going to get DRS. Science isn't close enough. One corner to go then. Don't cock it up here. We get DRS, but we can't do anything. But it is our first point. So a very exciting second half of the race there. We was helped a little bit by some of the retirements, but we do score our first World Championship point. 11th in Australia, 12th in Bahrain, and now 10th place here. You can see there that the one-stop strategy was king. A lot of drivers that qualified outside the top 10 have managed to score good points by sticking on the one-stop strategy. We couldn't do one-stop. We had to pick like lap 4, maybe lap 5 at the latest off of the ultras, and there was no way we could have done mediums all the way to the end. So, yeah, unfortunately, our good grid position went against us, and we probably would have had better chance of scoring good points had we qualified, 11th, 12th, 13th, something like that. So Ricciardo and Verstappen complete a Red Bull 1-2. Verstappen has done that all the way from 15th on the grid after being eliminated in Q1. Raikkonen in the sole remaining Ferrari completes the podium. As you see there, 11th, 12th and 13th actually finish in 4th, 5th and 6th. Hulkenberg, Grosjean and Ocon. Perez in the second Force India also in 7th. Gasly in 8th for Toro Rosso from 17th on the grid. They pick up their first points of the season. Van Dorn in 9th, and we pick up the final point, finishing just 7 tenths away from Van Dorn. Sainz just outside the points, as was Magnussen. Hartley in 13th, Ericsson 14th, Leclerc 15th. Alonso had a poor race in 16th. Hamilton had problems towards the end, finished down in 17th. Sorokin was a lap down. I don't think it was me that spun him. I felt no contact, so I think it might have been one of the AI cars behind. 2 retirements late on, Vettel and Bottas certainly gifted us an opportunity to score our first point, and we've taken it. So we'll look at the standings. Verstappen now takes the lead of the championship, 48 points. Second place, Raikkonen and Vettel both tied on 40 points. And Ricciardo in 35. Bottas and Hamilton, Mercedes really struggling early on here, 5th and 6th. Ocon, Magnussen, Hulkenberg and Grosjean complete the top 10. Our first point puts us ahead of Charles Leclerc by dint of having better finishes, and we're in 16th place. 3 drivers yet to score, Ericsson, Hartley and Sorokin. In the Constructors' end, Red Bull not only take the lead in the drivers, but they do in the Constructors' Championship. 3 points ahead of Ferrari, and they're 30 points already ahead of Mercedes. Force India, good points for them, moves them up to 4th place on 29. Haas in 5th on 26. Renault also score good points and move up to 6th with 18. McLaren on 8 points. Toro Rosso jump up to 8th with Gasly's 8th place on 4 points. We remain in 10th place, but all 10 teams have now scored. So then our rivalry breakdown will be quite healthy against both Ericsson and Sorokin. We're now leading 18-8 against our teammate and 6-3 against Ericsson. The resource points, not too sure we're going to get out of this because, race position versus qualifying. Obviously, we lost positions. Had a clean race though, but we only pick up 185, and it does take us up to 1,198. And the reputation, another strong weekend actually, so it continues to rise. Another little stab towards the veteran status. We remain bang in the middle between the sportsmanship and showmanship side of things. That's always difficult to say.
That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up.
Yeah, I'm happy. Disappointed that we couldn't do the one-stop strategy. We was never going to be able to do it, but we fought well. We kept it clean. We looked after the tyres as best as we could, pushed when we needed to, saved energy when we needed to. We got lucky with retirements. If it wasn't for Hamilton having problems and Vettel and Bottas retiring, we would have been looking at 13th place at best, maybe 12th if we managed to get past Van Dorn in another lap. But we were a bit lucky with the points, but you've got to be there to pick these points up when other people fall out of the race.
Choose whether or not to participate before the end of this weekend.
Right, we have historical events. I'm not going to do these at all, whether on or off camera. They make no difference, I feel, to the career mode, because before, usually on the R&D screen, you had to complete classic car events to unlock, extra things in the career mode. They're now part of the contract perks that we get after every 4th race. So I'm not going to do these. I don't really see any reason to. So from Emma, hi, we have a choice of invitational events. Yep, don't really care. Debrief in. Hi Alex, here are the notes from today's debrief. First of all, well done with that result. The car looked good out there, and you more or less got the best out of it when it mattered. I was also pleased with your responses to some of those interview questions. A lot of the crew watched the coverage, and it's good for their morale to hear some kind words from time to time. Yeah, I always try and big up all the departments, because obviously we get a reduction in cost and an increase in the reliability once the parts are being developed before we come onto a car, so it's always nice to try and big them up. If there is a question where basically the only option I've got is to slag off the departments, I just press no comment. I'd rather just not answer a question than have the morale be hit in one of the departments. So there's our rivalry page. And driver details then, this is something different as well. No drivers or constructors championships yet, of course. Total points, 1. We have 1 point. Average finish has been 11th. Average grid has been 13th, which is okay after 3 races so far. We've driven already 163 laps and 625 miles in total. One team joined, of course, with Williams. So we'll move on to the research and development. Right, we've got this part hopefully coming in Azerbaijan the next week's race. And that might dink us up just behind Salbert and Toros. So I might be expecting probably them to do some upgrades at some point. So we have nearly 1,200 resource points. I did say then we've been looking away at this. Look, upgrade prices reduced by 20%, failure chance reduced by 10. It makes sense to do this, and it makes sense to do this one as well, so you can open up the right-hand side of the aerodynamic tree. So this is something we'll do then. Side pod turning vanes. Redesigned turning vanes situated above the side pods help direct airflow towards the rear wing more effectively in order to improve downforce levels. Very nice. So it should come in Spain 2 weeks time. 417 resource points and a failure chance of only 27.5%. So a 1 in 4 chance really of this part not being on the car. That's very nice. So it'll come in 2 weeks time. We can't do anything else, can we? No, department capacity has been reached. So we have 781 resource points left. If we do this minor upgrade up here, it's going to be 520, or we can do some more durability. We definitely need gearbox work for 580. Right. Yeah, chassis or durability. We can't do powertrain, obviously, because we're waiting for this one to come in. We can't do aerodynamic because we've already got one being developed. So we either do something on the chassis or we do something on the durability. Right. Durability. I've made a decision, and it's going to be the gearbox. We need to get this gearbox sorted out. So for 580 resource points, gearbox durability increased by a further 22.5%. All gearbox components will wear at a reduced rate. Yes, our gearbox is definitely struggling. That will come in next week. So we'll go across to R&D in progress. So next week we should have 2 upgrades, the durability gearbox and also the crankshaft for the powertrain. And then a week after that we should have the side pod turning vanes for the aerodynamic department. We also might get something else done on the powertrain or chassis, because we seem to be collecting resource points at a vast rate of knots. So the vehicle management then, 3 weekends done, 54% on the ICE, 33 on the MG UK, 41 on the MG UH, energy stores at 30%, 41 again for the turbocharger, 29 for the electronics. So everything seems okay, even the MG UH, which we, you know, that's obviously effective when we run like rich mix or max fuel mix in qualifying. Seems okay at 41%. The ICE is an issue, 54%, might have to swap that out after the next weekend. Gearbox then, 51%, and we're only halfway through the cycle, so that's the reason why we need more durability on the gearbox. I might swap it out after the 4th weekend if it's somewhere in the mid to high 60s. I did say it'll probably be knocking on the door 50% after this race, and I'm right with 51, so I reckon probably about 65, 66 after the 4th race. We definitely won't be able to do 6, and I really feel unlikely that we'll be able to do 5, so I might have to swap it out after the 4th race and incur a grid penalty, which isn't nice. Standings then, as you can see there, season results as well. We scroll down to us. It's been a promising start to the season actually, 11th, 12th and 10th, certainly punching above our weight. Sorokin's had a retirement in Australia and then a 17th and an 18th so far, so hopefully once we get more development on the car we can slowly start to see him chip away at the back markers, because at the moment he's pretty much last and we need him, you know, to be not last if we want him to start scoring points as well. But yeah, so far the start of the season's gone well. We kept it very clean, 100% finishing record so far. So yeah, all in all, it's been a promising start to the season. So we'll exit the workstation then. Yeah, practice went well. Qualifying fantastic to get through to Q3 all the way up into 6th place. Unfortunately, having to be forced to run onto the 2-stop strategy really hurt us, really. We came out after our 2nd stop, you know, best part of 12 seconds beyond that gaggle of midfield cars. We closed up somewhat on the tail enders, but we probably needed 1 more lap to get past Van Dorn. But anyway, due to the retirements of some of the big guys having problems as well, we managed to pick up our first World Championship points. So all in all, I'm delighted. Anyways, at the moment, with the car as underdeveloped as it is, and we come away with a positive result, I'm happy. And so far, the season is going well. More develops coming on the car. We finished all first 3 races. So yeah, all in all, I'm very happy about what's happened. So thank you very much for watching this episode, and I'll see you all for the next one very soon.